A reading from Psalm 116, verses 1 through 6 from the Message translation. I love God because God listened to me, listened as I begged for mercy. God listened so intently as I laid out my case before God. Death stared me in the face. Hell was hard on my heels. Up against it, I didn't know which way to turn. Then I called out to God for help. Please, God, I cried out, save my life. God is gracious. It is God who makes things right. Our most compassionate God. God takes the side of the helpless. When I was at the end of my rope, God saved me.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to my porch. Katie, thanks for reading Psalm 116 for us, or at least the beginning of it. Now, I don't know if you know this about the Psalms, but generally they're structured in three pieces. The first part of the Psalm is kind of just the core of what the author is feeling and expressing. So it could be lament, it could be joy, it could be heartbreak, it could be celebration. But that first section is really where you're going to get the core of how the author is feeling. Then the second part is always a turning towards God, either letting God have it with doubts and questions and anger, or love and praise. And then the third part is a place where there's an acknowledgement that God's with us, that God walks with us, that God is present with us, that God saves us. And so these three parts of the Psalms invite in each one of the Psalms, all 150, for us to be real about how we feel, what we're experiencing, what we're traveling with. And Psalm 116 is a praise song. And it is hard sometimes to lift praise or to give thanks in the midst of something that's hard. But Psalm 116 invites us to name where God has been with us. And so I'm going to read out of the Psalms for young children, and it just says this. I love God because He listens to me when I talk to Him. He hears my prayers. I love God because He comforts me when I'm scared. I love God for protecting little children like me. And the reality is that when we are facing something hard, there's a part of us that shrinks back to a 5-year-old, to the insecurities, to the fear, to the uncertainty. And so we long to be listened to. We long to be protected. And this psalm encourages us to claim that. I love that out of 150 psalms, if you open your Bible, right in the middle are all 150 chapters in that one book of the Bible, and each one of them invites us to the fullness of who we are. More than 65 of them are laments and heartbreak and sorrow and anger and just real raw emotions, and the others are songs of praise and thanksgiving. And so in Psalm 116, there's an acknowledgement of praise, there's an acknowledgement of thanksgiving that God's listened and heard the author. And I'm wondering if that wouldn't be helpful to us, even though we are in a season of what is really hard right now for lots of different reasons. And I think there's a time to name the grief and the disappointment that we're facing, even as the calendar begins to move really close to a new month, where we had lots of hopes of things being normal again and being able to return to lots of pieces of our lives. You know, we're missing family gatherings and birthdays and anniversaries, school events, things that we've been looking forward to and are holding really lightly because they haven't been called off, but we're not really sure they're going to happen. All of that can crush our spirits. And I think there's a time and a place absolutely to name those and to sit with those emotions when we are feeling that hard. But I also really like that Psalm 116 invites us to name and celebrate where God has traveled with us, where we've been stronger than we thought we could be, that we've survived things that we didn't know was possible, and that God is present with us in the hard. I'm wondering where you're doing that in these days. I'm wondering if you've made a list of things that you're thankful for as we've been having to do hard and different things across the board. You know, we've been doing school differently and work differently, our family time, our hobbies, how we shop, the way we volunteer, the way we care for others, for ourselves, and even how we do and be church. In Psalm 116, it has these places that have helped me name God's grace and love and mercy and care, even alongside the hard. Maybe you might read Psalm 116 for yourself and rewrite it in your own words. I love to take the Psalms, even the praise ones, even the hard ones, and think about how I would say that, or how does that speak to my life or to my world or to those I know who are having a hard time or having a great time and things to really celebrate. I love to rewrite the Psalms. For me, that's a way of knitting my thoughts and my emotions into prayers sometimes when I don't always have the words. Any of the Psalms can be rewritten into your own words, but I would challenge you to sit and think and claim the words of 116 for yourself. Something else that I found helpful in the last couple of years is Peyton and I have traveled through different kinds of hard, is to make a top 10 list so that the calendar isn't totally defined by heartbreak or our challenges. Maybe even make your own top 10 list of things that have fed your heart, markers to celebrate, and things to give thanks for, even while we've been on this hard road. Being able to name these things, these markers, with a top 10 list or even a top 5, and writing the Psalms can help us turn back to God, rest in the assurance that we don't travel any of this alone, and that God is always with us. I hope these reflections today might encourage your heart. I also hope that you'll be encouraged with this song by Karen and Chris Emmons. Listen, know that you are loved, and be encouraged for your journey.
We're going to play When I Lost My Way. We've seen so many things along the way that we wish we could all change. I couldn't face the way I used to be anymore, and I turn around to see where I was, but I lost my way. The signs were all changed, but I knew you were there beside me when I fell on my knees, and I couldn't see the light on the day when I knew that you were there holding me when I lost my way. When I lost my way. You've seen me when I'm falling down on hard times. You were always there, watching over me, the waves crashing all around me when I couldn't get my feet on the ground. And in your arms I see me falling on my knees. That's where I want to be. The road that I took was wrong. You picked up all the pieces and made a masterpiece. but I knew you were there beside me when I fell on my knees, and I couldn't see the light on the day when I knew that you were there holding me when I lost my way, when I lost my way, when I knew where I needed to be, but I lost my, and I'm reaching for you when I lost my way, but I found my way in you. All right. Thanks, guys. I hope you liked it. Well, I know the band's going to be doing a couple more of these, so stay tuned for more songs, some of our originals. And if anybody doesn't know, we're in a band, and we're called Calling on Him. So, guys want to check in next time? We'll see you later.